CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
And good morning and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm your host, Gloria Neal. And for the next half hour, we'll be talking about Angels Among Us Pet Rescue. It is the Atlanta-based nonprofit group that's dedicated to saving dogs and cats from high-kill shelters in North Georgia. Luann Farrell is the co-founder of Angels Among Us, and she joins us along with Beth Hale, who is media relations spokesperson. And Luann, let me start with you because I understand that your particular rescue organization has saved almost 10,000 lives since 2009. That's outstanding.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, and we are very proud of that fact. Georgia has a lot of animals end up in shelters just due to a lot of times no fault of their own, whether it be abandoned, stray, even owner surrender, which happens quite often. And a lot of these pets end up being euthanized in these shelters just due to overcrowding and lack of space.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and that's something I think a lot of people don't realize.
That's exactly right. They don't, if they go to the shelter and surrender their animal, they don't realize that that animal could lose its life.
Beth Hale, is there something, you know what, I'm going to call you Beth because you said, Glow, stop with the Beth Hale.
There you go.
Give me Beth. So when you hear that, or when people hear those kinds of numbers and that fact, what do you say to folks to really drive that point home?
Well, we try to get them to understand that every life that's in a shelter is begging for a second chance. They're not there because they asked to be. They're there because someone either voluntarily surrendered them, or they were a stray found on the side of the road, or it's all overcrowding. We try to raise the awareness of the public that it's not like a boarding place. It is a place that often ends up in euthanization. And so education is absolutely the key.
You know, here's something else too, because is the facility, is it a shelter, is it a facility, is it a brick and mortar building?
Angels does not have a facility, actually. We have been blessed with amazing amounts of foster homes, or amazing foster homes that take these dogs in and cats and actually get them back on their feet, literally in most cases, because a lot of these animals are broken and they really need a home, and they're safe, well taken care of until we can find their forever homes.
And let's talk about these animals. Do you think they know that they're safe once you all bring them in?
Oh, they absolutely do. I mean, from the perspective of, I've gone to shelters, and you look in those eyes and they know that they're safe. And I give them the pledge that they will never be abused, neglected, or starved another day of their life.
Oh, that is so very important too. I know when you start talking about animals. So let's talk about some very important do's and don'ts which set your organization apart from a lot of the others.
Well, we will never leave a family member behind.
Okay.
We have a lot of times that there's like a mother with puppies. We always take the puppies and the mother. We've actually been known to go back and get another mother because we weren't sure which mother it actually was. We're known actually to take in dogs that other people can't. The ones that are probably either physically have been hit by a car, have bad physical problems, and Angels can actually go in and we'll take those.
Oh, wow. A lot of people don't recognize that. They don't even know that that happens. They just think that, you know, you take as they come in, or there is no rhyme or reason to this. And actually, there is.
Right. And there are some rescues that are breed specific. And that's another thing that we pride ourselves on. We don't breed discriminate. Every animal that is in need, doesn't matter what breed they are, be it dog or cat.
Do you think folks are too quick to go to the mall or go to a breeder or go someplace else as opposed to looking at rescued pets to adopt a pet?
Right.
I really do think so. I think that people are under the impression that in these shelters are these, mean, aggressive dogs, and they don't understand that these are family pets that have ended up there at no fault of their own. And we were recently blessed to have a lot of coverage on our hugging dogs, and that's what we really tried to bring home, is to see these two animals that are amazing, and their interaction on film, that these are great animals and they're out there. Go to your local shelter, go to your local rescue groups, save these animals, because there's purebreds in there. There's loving, old, young.
Absolutely.
And Beth, I was going to ask you about the abuse of animals. So
Right.
many times we see it on our TV. We see animals that are abused. And what do you want folks to know about animals that are abused and what your organization is doing to stop that, to help them?
Sure. Well, Angels Among Us not only recognizes the need to greatly decrease the overcrowding and the pet population in Georgia, we've also begun to realize that we really need to be proactively involved in helping to stem the tide of abuse and harm and neglect. The cases are alarmingly on the increase, and just the cases that we've seen and been involved with in trying to save lives in the last 6 to 12 months, they're horrific and they're heartbreaking. You know, we often talk about our organization's mission statement, rescue one until there are none. But honestly, we literally want to work ourselves out of a job. We pray for the day that animal rescue will no longer be needed or required.
Right.
And even though that's a lofty and some might say an unrealistic goal, we know with better education of humane treatment of animals, and that starts with our children in our schools, and educating the general public about the benefits of spaying and neutering pets, that we can begin to greatly stem the tide of not only unwanted births, but of the abuse and neglect cases. That in turn takes pressure off of our shelters, and they can start working toward being a no-kill shelter, and it takes pressure off of us.
Right.
It's a win-win all the way around.
Absolutely.
So this morning we want to really encourage everyone to get proactively involved in legislation and helping Georgia become a no-kill state. We know if we work together, we can make that dream a reality for the state of Georgia.
And Beth, when you say it, I believe it.
I'm passionate about it.
Absolutely. No, and I understand
so
why. I
important.
understand. We're going to take this break. And ladies, when we come back, we are going to meet some of those families that really are currently up for adoption through Angels Among Us. Stay with us, everybody.